We are looking live at the Nasdaq daily chart. The Nasdaq fell 88 points today, or 0.54%. It was on lighter volume, 9% below the average volume, 50-day volume. I just wanted to point out, I expected, I don't predict, but I expected the Nasdaq to be up today because on Friday we had this, made a high, and then we had this reversal candle, which got everybody paranoid over the weekend. And then it came in on Monday with some sellers, right? Some leftover sellers from this session. It pulled back essentially to its 21. Then yesterday it bounced 246 points there and close at the high of the session. That's a nice hammer candle. So I thought, there's probably going to be some more buyers. Just like the downside reversal had more sellers, the upside reversal thought would have more buyers, but it didn't. It just squatted there. Inside day looks fine. Constructive session. There was just rotation out of the technology stocks and into everything else. That's what bull markets do. Everybody's got to eat. And the semis, and the technology stocks have had a big run. And, recently we're seeing more oil and gas industrials. That's why the Dow Jones was up and the Nasdaq was down, because the industrials, materials, construction, oil and gas, just about everything else went up except for the technology stocks. But anyway, it's just one session. Looks fine to me. Closed, 16,178, like I said. So looks pretty good to me. 0.4% above its 10 EMA, 1.2% above its 21 EMA, and 3.9% still above its rising 50 simple moving average. So nice power trend. Constructive day. Maybe tomorrow will be different. Maybe the semis will get some love. But anyway, I want to take a look around. Since I mentioned the semis, let's go there. First, I'm going to take you down this negative road, then bring you back on a positive path. NVIDIA was down like 30 bucks. It was down a lot more today and closed. Looks like the high of the daily session. This looks like the Nasdaq, right? Where it just had this reversal bounce and just had an inside day today. So that, to me, that looks constructive for NVIDIA. Still, 4.3% above the 10 and 11% above the 21. Fast rising 10 and 21, I might add. So that looks fine. AMD was a little weaker today. I thought it was going to pull back to the 21, but it didn't quite get there. The 21 was at 191 today, and the low was 192.70. So AMD, once again, this looks fine. You got to expect these things to pull back to moving averages. That's why we watch the moving averages, and maybe we can, get an add-on entry here for AMD or NVIDIA, or ARM was another one today. I guess the lockout was supposed to be today. It didn't really seem to bother this stock much. It gapped higher in earnings, ran up to 164, and now it's kind of just doing this flag. And no, this is. I better not say anything. It's just there's nothing wrong with this stock. It looks fine. I don't buy and sell stocks based on lockout periods. I just, if I want to buy this stock, I'll buy it. If I don't, I don't. I mean, a pullback to a 21, it seems like a logical place to buy it if you miss this gap up. But yeah, if just a lockout period is not a reason to stay away from a stock. I don't think. Anyway, SMCI. Let me see. Oh, my goodness, closed near the high of the day today. I wasn't really paying attention here, but it's up 25 bucks. I thought it was down for the first part of the session, I guess, then rallied. Traded down to 11.22, which was not even close to its 10 EMA, so probably it's 5 or something like that. But anyway, this is going into the S&P before the open on Monday, the 18th. And there'll be some buyers, some sellers, some shenanigans. It's going to be kind of volatile, but I want to get into next week at the GPU technology conference. I think there's going to be some interesting announcements next week. So anyway, this thing looks fine. Let's move on. Since we went down the negative road, kind of, with some of the semiconductors, if I want to go negative, I'll go to Broadcom. This is sold off since its earnings report, and now it's squatting below the 21. So what you look for is a rally above these moving averages. These moving averages starting to curl lower here, and it needs to rally back through there, and it definitely has the ability to do that. One of my favorite buys, by the way. I made a video on sell rules, and I have, 4 or 5, a few entry styles that I like, and I'm going to make a video on just entry points. Anyway, I'm going to go down this positive road here with the oil and gas stocks, which you guys know is my favorite, right? FANG. I mean, what can you say? This thing's strong. Broke out of this long consolidation. If you look at the weekly chart, this is a long period of consolidation. Broke out this week, February 16th. Yeah, nice 19% move or whatever. Yeah, it's still trading higher. So FANG is definitely strong. This is another one that I like here, OVV. And this one just, I wouldn't say broke out. It's starting to push away from its base, and I should have had this one on our ready list. I put a couple others that I'll get to eventually today. But OVV looks pretty darn good to me. And I don't like to have too many oil and gas stocks on my ready list, or any one type of style on the ready list, because you get a little lopsided. And then if it turns against you, like today's rotation, if you're all semis, then you're kind of screwed. So I like to spread it around a little bit. VIST, this is a Latin America, Argentina, oil and gas producer. I don't know what they do, to be honest with you. I just know a breakout when I see it. This is pretty classic here, double bottom. And then this shakeout here, this is one of my favorites too, the nice shakeout. Get all those weak hands out of there as it pulls back to the 50. And then bam, in your face, see you later. That's like a Debo, put your foot in the ground and get up the field. Vista Energy and ADR looks very nice. Weatherford, of course, this is a strong one. WFRD. I knew that stock didn't look like that. Yeah, this one's just trending higher. Made a new high today, and Tidewater, another one making new highs. So those are really strong oil and gas stocks. I'm going to move on to the crypto stocks, because the crypto has been ripping. This is another one of my favorite setups. A cup with handle. They're working now, right? You get the big cup, the consolidation pattern. First of all, I need. Anyway, I'll make a video on it. But you got this base here and this pullback to a moving average, like shaking people out, like, oh my God, this stock's junk, it's going lower. And then all of a sudden, boom, that thing just ramps higher. Another crypto stock. This just, I got to explain something here, folks, because I had somebody tell me that, oh, a stock that's at 200% above its 200 moving average is a sell. And I got to tell you, no, it's not. That's why I made the Taser Axon versus the comparison with the Super Micro, because this one's 260% above its 200. You can see that there, but it's been that way for a while. It's been 229. What is this, Monday? It's 211 last week, 203. So, I mean, do you want to miss this move? It's not a sell sign. I mean, I don't see a sell sign in this stock unless you're just, it's definitely going parabolic, unless you just want to take some profits, but there's no sell sign. And usually when these things give it up, they do it gradually. They don't just, slice and crash down in one day. So I don't know. If I held this stock, which I don't, I wouldn't sell it. I mean, I might trim some just so I could buy some other type of stocks, because this is probably getting pretty big in people's portfolio here, from what, 500 to 1700. Yes, this could be a high tide flag, but first it's got to form a flag, and it just seems to want to go higher. And anyway, the only Bitcoin I own is iShares, IBIT, whatever. It just goes with the price of Bitcoin. Not a big deal. Not a big position in my portfolio. I just want to have some exposure to Bitcoin so I can keep track of the pricing. And a lot of stocks are doing well, though, in the Bitcoin realm. Okay, I'm going to move on to retail, because we saw a fantastic earnings report, kind of a weaker guidance from Williams-Sonoma. I was a little surprised with the 17% move, right, with heavy volume. But this is one that I would stay away from, because you can see it's already extended. This is your base back here, and it's already been running. Now it explodes higher. Yeah, it'll probably trade higher, probably trade up to 300, but it's also more likely to stall. I'm not going to say fail, but obviously, that's a powerful move, and with volume, and you can see the volume profile here. Someone likes Williams-Sonoma. I spent enough money there. Dollar Tree, I don't know what's going on here. People, it seems like the luxury brands like, Williams Sonoma, and I don't know, we're going to hear from Ulta tomorrow. I shouldn't say luxury, but just the higher end brands are doing better, and Dollar Tree is out of favor. I guess not a good reaction to an earnings report, but I'm going to get to that in a minute because, well, since I mentioned Ulta, I'll go there. They report tomorrow. It's trading at all-time highs, I think, or at least 52-week highs. Yeah, all-time highs here. So that's a little red flag for me. I don't know how much higher you can expect it to go. It's at all-time highs. Maybe it's just gonna, there's no base here. The breakout was back here. There you see the little pullback and boom, higher. But I don't know. Just I'm interested to see what Ulta has to say tomorrow, and that should affect some of the other stocks in the group, like ELF, which I'm interested in. Uh, okay, I did mention earnings reports and strange reactions on holdings. This is one that was up 8% today after being down. It was down quite a bit yesterday. I sold mine. I didn't hold on to this. It was down 8.86% yesterday and it was up 8.62% today. I don't know what's going on here. But like I said, we get some wonky reactions out of earnings, and basically all it is right back to its pivot points, all it did. Big bar here, but still within this, cup with handle pattern. That's a shake out there. It shook me out because I'm just not interested in on holdings. It's got decelerating sales growth. That's one thing that, kind of bugs me, right? And it goes 80, 62, 58, 34. You think it's really going to rip higher on decelerating sales growth? I had to change it to after-tax margin. Somebody asked me, and those are going down as well. So, and if you want to compare it to something, compare it to CROX, because CROX had this 34, 11, 6 and 2, and that's the reason why it did this. It came all the way down to what, 74, went sideways, and now it's starting to trend higher. Maybe, just maybe, their sales are going to start improving. We'll see with CROX. And the last one in the shoe group is Deckers going into the S&P. This is on our ready list, starting to push away here. I wouldn't be chasing it. I don't know. I had 903 as a buy point. Now it's getting a little bit away, maybe up to about 930, 935. I'd still pursue that, but I wouldn't be chasing it beyond that. But Deckers looks fine. It's probably, the leader in this group. It definitely isn't the leader in this group, and definitely has the, the sales, 10, 25, 16, kind of choppy, but it's their Uggs brand is a little seasonal, so that's why the reason for the choppiness. But you can see the after tax, their margins are going up. They charge a lot for their shoes, I'll say that. And they're selling them direct to consumer. That's where Deckers is killing it. And then a couple other ones, Abercrombie and Fitch, they reported a stellar quarter and just sold off. There's going to be profit takers, right? And this one rallied right back through the 21 here today. I bought this one because it did that. I was watching, I like to own the leading stocks, and you can see them. I post them every Saturday. Those are the leaders that I want to own. They don't always present much of a chance to buy. You can see this one has not. So it finally pulled back. I had a tough week last week and then pulled back a little bit this week. And that's its 10-week line there. 114, you see the low there is 114. So that's, probably the bottom for ANF. I don't expect it to, rally to new highs, but even if it just went sideways and had these, moving averages start, you can see them starting to curl lower. One of them to just go at least sideways, or, start trending higher again, like the 50. Anyway, Abercrombie and Fitch, strong report. They did nothing wrong. It's just, people get tired of owning the stock. They want to take profits and move on to something else. And Celsius is the last retail name I'm going to mention today. And this one has the 8-week hold rule. Went up 20%, more than 20%. There's a number here. I forget what it was, 28% or whatever, in less than 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. So you hold it for 8 weeks. There's a lot more criteria to it. But anyway, I always thought that once it broke out here, it's going to head to 100, and it looks like it's well on its way. Definitely, extended, not a buy at all at that level. And that's it for retail. Okay, you guys know I like the retail, I like the technology, and I like the drugs. I just want to point out that when, I said, I own these things, you can't have, these are speculative names, and you can see that it ramped higher on a trial data, but then it got knocked down when Novo came out with its oral data. So these things get pushed around a lot. They're speculative. If they come out with a bad trial, this thing's going back to 20 or $10. Okay, so for me, 1 or 2% on one of these speculative stocks is enough. If you're running $100,000 portfolio, maybe 1 or 2,000, or $1 million portfolio, 10 or 20,000. But I would not get too heavy in these things. They'll kill you. They'll kill your portfolio, and you wake up one day and you say, "Damn, why did I do that?" It's just better for me. I'm older. Maybe if I was younger, I'd be rolling different. But if I was working and rolling in, starting my portfolio, I would probably get a little heavy in here because you can hit a grand slam with these things. But I'm older, and I don't really need it, and so I like to speculate, have a little bit. But man, I can tell you, these things can hurt you. TGTX is another one. They've got a drug. I mean, they've got actual sales, right? But they have the best in class drug, but that doesn't guarantee one drug company is going to just kill it. They're going up against some big sharks there, and it's going to take some political willpower for them to have patients converted. And I think they're getting a good share of new patients, but this is very speculative still, even though they have a drug on the market and they launched it last year. It's still speculative to me anyway. IOVA, they just had a drug approved and are launching. Once again, 1 or 2%, that's it. Gapped higher out of that little base there, and you just got to be careful. VINC, like I say, 1 or 2%. Yeah, this one's made a heck of a move, right? From $1.70 to like over $6. What was this? $8, 9.37. Holy smokes! Yeah, and now it's just starting to, if you bought it up here, now you're sorry you did. You're underwater, so don't chase these gaps. They're just highly speculative names. That's all I can say. Which brings me to this one. This one looks pretty good. But like I say, if they don't get approval, this thing's going to go back to whatever it was, $1. So it's highly speculative. AQST. So that's just my 2 cents. I would rather own, the larger names, more liquid, 600 billion market cap. It's going to be slower. It's not going to hit a grand slam with these things, but you're also not going to lose 75% in a day. Like we saw recently. This is Eli Lilly, fantastic stock, just trending higher. You could end up in a situation like Amylyx, poor Amylyx was down. What was the damage here? Yeah, 82%. You don't want to end up like that. They had, the ALS drug, and it just yeah, that's what I'm saying. These are very speculative. You don't want to wake up down 80%. I'm sorry. I know you don't. So anyway. Just saying. Okay, I've got to get to some of the other names. I mentioned the rotation from technology, definitely into the construction stocks. Recently these things are powering higher. This is on a road. It's on a road to higher prices. ROAD. It's a heavy construction stock. Power. PWR is Quanta Services, gapped higher and now just trending higher with its moving averages. That one looks fantastic as well. Jacobs Solutions. They're building something over here in my hometown. But anyway, broke out of this base. This is a slower moving stock, but it did break out of this consolidation, this flat base, which is another one of my favorite entries. I'm going to make a video and put it on the education. My favorite entries, and Jacob Solution just powering higher. It looks great. STRL. This one was down today, but this once again made a 18% move, and now it's just trading like tight. And that's an add-on buy point there if you missed it. And if you didn't get it in here and you missed it, this thing is starting to look like it wants to make a 3 weeks tight. And all that's saying is that, okay, we bought this thing up here and now it's trading at $110. We're not selling it. Institutions are happy paying, $110. And so 3 weeks tight or a shelf pattern is an add-on buy point, in my opinion. Okay, some of the software names did okay today, and some of the software names have been doing well. This is Appfolio, APPF. Broke out of a base here, and now it's forming this little shelf type pattern, just going sideways, pulled back to its 10-week moving average. So that looks pretty good. May end up on my ready list here one of these days soon. Palantir, the CEO was talking about short interest, and I get questions about short interest. I don't really care about short interest. But if you want to look for it, if you have MarketSmith, the short interest is here, and this says 5% short interest. So I don't know what he's talking about. Alex Karp, this is not a heavy shorted stock, but it's got so much supply, nearly 2 billion shares, so it takes a truck to move this thing, an army, a platoon to move this thing. So that's what I look for more than the short interest. Like that's going to give you the beta of the stock. Anyway, Palantir is a slow mover. I don't care for it. Anyway, short interest, I always wonder, like, why are so many shorts in this stock? Anyway, do they know something I don't know? So that always concerns me about short interest. OKTA, this is another one that gapped higher following earnings, 23% higher. Now it's just doing this little, it's this shelf type pattern, making these higher lows here, which I like. And if you put your, thumb over that print there that day, it's flagging kind of nicely here. I wonder what this looks like on a weekly chart. Yeah, that's not a short stroke pattern, but that's a breakout from a double bottom base here. And yeah, it made that's that one day where it was higher, but yeah, 24% above. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That might be the 8-week hold rule as well. Definitely is. Pretty sure. Yeah. Anyway, I don't really play that game, but PNG. This is Coupang, I guess. Somebody asked me to look at this, and this looks fantastic. And this is kind of what I'm talking about here with this cup with handle. They work in certain markets. In this type of market, definitely not in choppy or bear markets, but cup with handle breakouts. One of my favorites here. You can see this big consolidation, right? The longer the base, the higher in space, and it has this little shake out here, getting rid of those weak hands on the right side of that base and then blasting higher. I like this one a lot. Whoever asked, yeah, I like it a lot. So if you look at the weekly, I don't think it's really, yeah, it's still in this stage one consolidation from the bear market. The nasty bear market has not been able to break out. So maybe it will. I'm definitely going to watch that one. Looks pretty good. The other one was SOUN. This is one of those ones that Jensen had mentioned. The NVIDIA was in with this one. Gosh, I forget. They've invested some money in it, that's all. But it was up 25% today. So got to take notice of that, up 10% after hours. Anyway, that's it for me, except for I lied. I have one more thing. A couple of companies reported earnings tonight. I thought Lennar had a pretty good report. Their margins were, compressing a little bit. They're offering incentives for home buyers, but we're going to have, a dearth of homes for a long, long time because we underbuilt for many years. So I think these home builders are going to be fine. DHI is one that we have on our ready list and had a decent day today. We'll see if Lennar affects it tomorrow, probably in the morning, but we'll see. Sentinel One, I don't think they had a good report. No, it's down 11%. So yeah, it's been tough on the cybersecurity stocks lately. Just CrowdStrike's the only one that's, really doing well, really well. What other ones reported today? I got Lennar. Oh, UiPath. Their report was, their guidance was for the next quarter was not good. I think it was in line or short. And then for the year, they guided higher, pretty much higher on revenues. And I think that's why the stock is up. I gotta look more into that. And then VRM. This one is, oh man, I shouldn't laugh. That's a lot of pain from what, 200 something. This is man, $17 and down another 12% after hours. So also, I want to look at some of the stocks on our ready list this week. Some people are asking, like, what do you do with the ready list? I'm pretty much fully invested for me. So these are just kind of ideas. I will buy something during the day, but it doesn't do any good if I say, oh man, buy about CPRX because I like this. If you want a drug stock, this one has, nice it's fundamentals, sales and earnings, and it's set up in a base. I mean, you're probably not going to get hurt here. I mean, if it falls 5%, sell it, and just take your small loss. But that thing's set up pretty good. I kind of like that one. And I've got to get to some of these oil and gas stocks that I have on my ready list. I'm not going to buy an oil and gas stock right now. I mean, but they're moving, and this one's set up, I think, to buy. AROC was up, almost 3% today. SDRL I put on our ready list. This has got a long period of consolidation. One thing I look for is I go to the weekly charts and see if these things have a history of moving. They have to be able to move. This had a big move, pullback had a big move, consolidated, and then had a big move, and now it's consolidated. So maybe it's going to have another big move, but they have to show the ability to move. And Seadrill has, and to me, this is near a buy point, showing strength, volume coming in. I'm not going to buy it. I just put these on the ready list. I'm assuming at my site that people have a clue about what they want and how to trade a little bit, and I'm just presenting ideas. I'm not telling people when to buy and sell their stocks. Gosh, that would be pretty egotistical. I mean, to think that just because I said to buy this stock, that everybody's going to buy it. This is PR. Permian Resources is another one that shown the ability to move, right? I mean, it went from 8 to 15, nearly a double. Now it's kind of gone sideways. And it's really ripping hard, on the right side of this base, up from 12 to 16. That's a nice 33% move, went sideways, and now it's pushing away from its base here. So that one looks good as well. So there's quite a few of these oil and gas stocks that are looking fantastic. SWAVE, this has one of my favorite setups here. It's just broke above a downtrend line. You got to look at the weekly here. Broke above this downtrend line, now is trading higher. It's been up the last couple of sessions, but it pulled back to a moving average, broke above the downtrend line. But if you look at the weekly chart, this one's really shown the ability to move, had major moves, has been consolidating for a long, long time. Back in, what was this, 2022, October 2022 is $320 stock. Made this consolidation, another base here. This would, since it undercut the prior base at stage one. Now it's risen above its moving averages, pulled back to its moving averages, broke above the downtrend line. So that looks pretty good to me. Obviously, this volume bar here on this day was probably an earnings day, 11%. So that's what got it rolling. And so, yeah, buying the pullbacks. That's why I look forward to these pullbacks. Square, this is another one. Another setup, I like this kind of setup. So it's consolidating within the base and then rips through the 50, right? So that's your signal. Like, you don't have to buy there, but definitely watch it, right? That you should put it on your watch list there. And then what does it do? It shakes people out. Boom, or profit takers, right? Like, I'm out of here, pulls back to the 10, and then maybe people give up on it. Oh, it just had the one big move and now it's going to die. And nope, then it just rips higher. So that's why you got to pay attention and don't give up on these things. If you're interested in, this has got a Bitcoin component. It traded down to what, 73? Now it's at 85. So that's a, big move in a short period of time. So I like that pattern as well. What's the other one? Oh, ASPN, another one on our ready list. And once again, this is the ants, David Ryan's ants. I don't really care about that, but it did show the ability to move. It went from what, 5 to 17, three bagger, and now it's forming this base, and it just blasted through its 50 up to the 18. If you miss that move, you just watch it, right? Now it's trading sideways, pulls back to its 50. And I think that's when I put it on my ready list, maybe a week or two ago. But definitely, I like this pattern. It's a slower stock. It's a chemical stock. I can't have all technology and drugs in retail, but it's just an idea, okay? Next tracker, NXT, this one blasted higher, 24% with earnings and just traded sideways. There it is. Pull back to the 21 again and found support. You gotta follow the 21. There's your weekly chart. That's a strong stock right there. Let me see the last one. Oh, I already went through this one. DHI is on our ready list. Probably going to be affected by the NAR, but anyway, this is shown the ability to move big time, right? Went from 89 to 132, then formed this base and went 100 to 154. And now it's just kind of been consolidating here, trading sideways. It pulled back to its 10 and now moving higher. So we'll see what this thing does in the next week or two. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. I got some more stocks on my ready list for tomorrow morning. Anyway, at mcstockcharts.com, we never give up. Embrace the rotation, embrace the pullbacks, be flexible, be like Gumby, and never give up.